Hello everyone, you're watching Henry's tutorial on how to make your own blocks in Minecraft using ModLoader and the Minecraft Coder Pack. So the way you do this, you are going to need the ModLoader mod template. The link is in the description. It's just this basic template for any ModLoader mod that I will use. So the way you do this is first you go into Edit Rocket, which is what I use to edit code. You can use a text editor of your choice, but I don't recommend using the regular Notepad because that makes everything really confusing. I've heard Notepad++, I haven't tried it, but apparently that works. So, okay, so you're going to need to download this template. The link is in the description, and then once you download it, just copy everything that's inside the text file and paste it into a new file. Then save this file and call it mod underscore. You should always call it mod underscore something, depending on what the name of your mod is. So I'm going to call it mod underscore block because I'm making new blocks in this tutorial. So, and then make sure it's .java at the end and save it in the MCP source folder where all the other classes are. So mod underscore block, and then here where it says, wherever it says mod underscore base, you have to change that to mod underscore whatever you call it. So I have to change these two to say mod underscore block. So I changed those two. Now, the way you make a new block is you also have to make another file for the actual block. So I'm going to save this as block. What should I call it? blockhenry.java. Okay, the reason I called it block and then the name is because if you look here, all the other blocks are called like block clay, block chest, block cake. So I figured I would go with the system and keep it the way it is. Okay, so now what we do is we type in packagenet.minecraft.src semicolon import java.util.random. Okay, you can just copy this stuff. Yes, here you have to say public class and then what you called the class up here. So I called it block Henry, so I have to say public class block Henry, and then extends block because it's a type of block. Oh my god, damn it. My keyboard won't let me do a squiggly bracket for some reason. So I'm going to exit Edit Rocket and open it again. Okay, cool tip. There, that's working. Okay, so you need an opening squiggly bracket, closing squiggly bracket, and then you type protected block Henry, same name as above, and then bracket int I int j. Opening squiggly bracket, closing squiggly bracket again, and then you do super ij material dot, and then here you say what material you want the block to be made of. This won't change what the block looks like, but it sets some of the parameters and some of the functions of the block. For example, if you say material dot stone, when you break the block with your hand, you won't get the block back, or you won't get anything back. If you say material dot wood, then you will get the block back. I think it might also oh yes, it also determines what sound it makes when you walk on this block, and it determines what sound the block makes when you put it down. Because if you've ever noticed, when you put blocks down in Minecraft, different blocks make different noises when you place them. So I'm gonna say material dot wood, and then round bracket and semicolon. Now, outside of this squiggly bracket, press enter twice, and I'm going to write public int id dropped. This is a function inside our class that will determine how many, it'll determine what is dropped by the block when you break it. So, just copy what I just wrote, and inside here we're gonna write return return block dot, what shall we return? Item. Let me see. I want to return a slime ball, but I don't know what it's called. So I'm going to go into the item.java class, scroll down to the bottom. Actually, I'm going to search for slime. Oh, it's just called slime ball. Okay. So I looked at that name. Now I'm going to just say item dot. Oops. Slime ball dot. I'm pretty sure you have to type shifted index. If you put a block here, a type of block instead, all you have to type is, instead of this, you do like block dot, for example, dirt dot block ID, and you don't do shifted index, you do block ID instead. Okay, but I'm going to do item slimeball dot shifted index, and yeah. Now outside of those squiggly brackets, we have to add one more thing, and that is public int quantity dropped, which does exactly what it sounds like it does. It determines how much of this item will be dropped when you break the block. So we're going to say return, and then you can do any number. So I'm going to say 64. I don't really want to do a number bigger than 64 because then things will kind of go crazy. Okay, so that's it for there. Now we go back into the mod_block class, and we're going to add some stuff. So first, in between public class mod block and public mod block in here, we are going to add public static final, and then it's a block. So we're declaring a new block called Henry block, and then we're going to say this Henry block equals a new block Henry, which is this class we just made, and then new block Henry, and then bracket, and then here you have to put the data value, which is, if you've ever played multiplayer, you should know how you can type in give, and then like give player, and then a number, and then how many of that material. So this is the data value, and it has to be unique, so you can pick 97 is a unique number. Anything above 97 should also work. And then you put 0 dot, and then here you can add some characteristics to your block. So for example, you can do set hardness. This sets how difficult the block is to break. So I'm going to do 0.1, and then you have to put an F at the end, because F stands for float, which is a type of number. And then you can also add on, to add more characteristics, you just do another dot, and you add, for example, set resistance. This is how resistant it is to TNT, so how easily it breaks to TNT. So like for example, obsidian is set to some ridiculous number here, so it can't be broken by TNT. And then we'll add another one that is set block name. This doesn't set the in-game name of the block, so you can really put anything random here, ASDF. But it is required by the program, because that's what it uses to reference the block. And then one final one that's kind of interesting is dot set light value, and you give it a number. It's a good idea not to give it a number above 2, I think, because I tried to give it like 10, and then the game kept crashing because that's just too much light. And yeah, so light, if I didn't explain, sorry. Set light value just allows the block to give off light, amazingly enough. Okay, now in here we have to register the block, so we're going to say modloader dot register block, and then you say what block you want to register. So oops, Henry block, and then you say oh my god, Henry block dot block index in texture equals modloader dot add override, and then here you say, so this is adding the texture to the block, and you do slash terrain.png because that is the old texture, and then you give it your new texture, and you just do slash and then the name of your picture. I have a picture called Z block .png. It's called zblock because, never mind. You don't need to know. If you don't know, then it's not important. Don't worry about it. Okay, anyway, yes. Okay, so that adds the texture. And then we do modloader.addName. This will add the in-game name. And you say what you want to add the name to. So we want to add the name to Henry Block. And we're going to call it OMGA! It's working! Wait, no, not that one. It's working. And then close the quotation. Okay, and then we have to add a recipe so that I can get this block. So we're going to do add recipe. I have a tutorial on how to add recipes, so you can go check that out because I'm not going to explain it very thoroughly here. Oh, but anyway, you write new item stack and then you write what you want to result from the recipe. So we're going to do Henry block, and then you say how many. So I'm going to say 10. And then you do new object, square brackets, opening squiggly bracket, closing squiggly bracket, and then you say how it's made. So I'm going to do 3 pieces of dirt in a row. And then I'm going to say each of these asterisks stands for a block.dirt, and I'm just going to make it 2 blocks of dirt so I can actually make it in my 2x2 crafting grid instead of the 4x4. You also need this regular bracket and a semicolon, and that's it for adding a block. Now, to make a texture, you just use any image editing program. Paint doesn't really work very well because Paint will add a white background, or well, unless you want like a semi-transparent block, Paint will work okay actually. But the main thing is that Paint won't add a transparent background. So if you want to be able to see through the block, like glass for example, you won't be able to. It'll just look white. But anyway, I already made a texture. And once you make your texture, oh, by the way, make the texture 16 pixels by 16 pixels, the size, and then put it in your Minecraft Coder pack, into the bin folder, and into Minecraft, right in here, okay? So I'm going to get my texture. Where's my texture? It's in the textures folder. Here's texture, copy. If you want to take a look, it's 16 by 16, it's very small. And it's very boring, but that's okay. So I'm going to put it in MCP, bin, and then Minecraft, and just paste it in here. Okay, if you make a server mod, there will be a folder here called Minecraft_server, and you have to put it in there instead. And just let me check what the name is. It's called zblock.png. Yep, that's what I called it. Okay, so now we are going to go into MCP and recompile. Recompiling client, no errors. Oh, that is good. That is good. And then I'm going to double click on start client, and it'll open up Minecraft, and I'll be able to test my mod. Yay! So I'm going to get another piece of dirt, and I'm going to put it like this, and yay! Zomga! It's working! So, I got this block. It breaks very easily. Oh my god, and it drops a truckload of slime balls. And I'll show you in a sec, but these blocks give off light. Okay, fine, it's not that fast. Anyway, okay, let me make more for a sec. Can you throw slime balls? No, you can't. Okay, how do we do this? Can you kind of see that it's giving off light? Here, is this a cave here? Oh, it is a cave. How very fortunate. See? It gives off light. Light! And yeah, it doesn't give off a lot of light, but that's okay. And yeah, so that's how you add your own block, add your own name to the block, add your own textures. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So if you like this tutorial, please subscribe if you aren't already, and I'll see you guys next time.